Good evening, good evening. Hey, everybody. It's your girl, Deetra Trueheart, your life purpose generator, purpose provoker, and I Speak Life mentor. Happy Thanksgiving Eve, y'all. Listen, we are on day 24 of 30 days of thanks. And listen, I know, hey, Tamika, I see you. Hey, Christy, I see you. Y'all come on and say, hey, girl, hey, I know y'all are cooking. Hey, D, how are you? Y'all, well, maybe y'all are not, because some of y'all are like, listen, we are not doing the whole cooking thing this year. Listen, I didn't order. The food is going to be here tomorrow, whatever it might be, right? But good evening. Today's going to be a really good conversation, and I'm really going to try to keep today a little short, simply because I know people are going to be cooking and you want to rest. Today's day 24 is we're being thankful for rest. So I want to be mindful of that in our conversation today. And so I want to make sure that I have shared. The phone sometimes doesn't do me like I want it to do me, and I'm not able to share how I want to share. But how is everybody, y'all? Y'all ready for tomorrow? Do you all have big plans, little plans? What do y'all have going on? Literally, like, Thanksgiving is already here, right? Just in a few more hours, it is already here. If y'all happen to hear any chatter in the background, my little person has company. I'm about to put them in timeout, y'all. Can I just tell y'all the truth? I'm about to put them in timeout because they don't know how to be quiet. But that's all right. That's what Thanksgiving is all about. They have been dying to see each other for forever. And so hopefully I've told them that they can't be real loud. But if y'all hear some, those are little people in the background. Hey, Cassandra, how are you, love? How are you? How are you? How are you? So, yeah, so I'm trying to see if I can share this, but it's not letting me. But that's okay. That is quite all right. But hopefully those of you who are on Facebook, make sure you share. Those who you are on Instagram, make sure you're sharing. If you're on YouTube, make sure you are sharing, so that the people know that we are live. And like I said, I know that the people are busy. I know that you all are getting stuff situated, and I'm so grateful that you're here. If you're watching the replay, hey girl, hey boo, hey bro, hey, whatever it may be, right? Because I do have some faithful men who watch the live, and sometimes they pop in for the replay. And so good evening. All right, let me see if I can share from here. Here we go. We'll do it this way. Y'all type in and let me know how y'all are doing. What are y'all doing? What you cooking? Are you cooking? What's going on? What's shaking bacons? Let me know really quickly. Like I said, I'm just going to share this, and then we are going to get this party started. Now, if you missed the last 3 days, y'all, if you missed, we talked about forgiveness yesterday. We talked about, hey, Faye, you about to cook? I know that's right. Hey, Keita, how are you? Good evening. We talked about endings and closed doors. We talked about open doors and beginnings. And then what was the one before that that was really good that kicked it off? Freedom, right? So days 20, 21, 22, and 23 were fire. So if you get some time to go back and check out the replays of those, child, go check them out. And also, I'm looking forward to even like the next, like we'll be live tomorrow night. Those of you know, we go live on Thanksgiving. So even if it's one person, we still going to go live. We're still going to do the reading. I believe God is still going to talk. And be on the lookout if you're on she says, no replay. Yes. Check out the replay. They've been really good. And so for the last like few days, but we are always live on Thanksgiving. And so I know that y'all are normally with your families and all that other kind of stuff. But if you can check in, great. If not, even if it's just one person, we're still going to go live. We're still going to go live on Friday, like literally Black Friday, all the days. But if you're on my email list, make sure you check, because we've got a special Black Friday edition, right, coming up Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, specifically for I Speak Life Live. Like if you have not yet registered, I'm just going to say hold out until Friday or maybe tomorrow, because I might release it early tomorrow. My first lady is here. Hey, Inspired Fully. How are you, sis? Good evening. I see y'all here. Good evening. We are, like I said, we are on day 24 and we are talking about rest. And you all know rest is very important to me. Making sure that you fill your cup is important to me. And so, when God gave this to me, hey, Stephanie, how are you? This is not a replay, child. We are live. You are here in full effect. I see you saying hashtag replay, but this is not a replay. You are live and in full effect. So those of you, maybe you are hitting the replay so you can come back to it, and that's okay too. But I'm really excited. And I've been excited because guess what, y'all? I got a chance to sleep in this morning because guess what? Somebody didn't have school today. Listen, somebody did not have, can we say no school? Can we say, mom turned all the alarms off? All the alarms, all 4 of them, child. I got one at all of them. One that's like, wake up. The other one's like, child, if you don't get up. The other one's like, it's time to go. And the other one's like, child, listen, it's really time to go. So at any rate, and Starfully says, yes, there is rest for God's people. Yes, there is rest for us. And so the fact that God would give this to us on day 24 is really amazing. And so hopefully it's a blessing to you, because what I realize is that, hey, Shakisha, how are you, love? Is that a lot of times we don't make time for rest. We are busy women. We're doing all the things, but we're tired, we're exhausted, and we're frustrated, all the things, right? But we don't make time for rest. And so, rest is biblical. Rest is holy, right? Can we say rest is biblical and rest is holy? God rested. He wants us to rest. And the other part is we can't continue to pour out of empty vessels, right? That's one of the major things that I'm going to be talking about at I Speak Life Live, that this event is really created for women to come empty and leave full. That we are continuously running on empty, or in our cars, as we used to say, running on excitement, right? I'm riding on excitement. We have got to stop doing that. We got to stop doing it, right? In conversation with some friends today about a project that we're working on, and really just around this whole idea of carrying things that we are not supposed to be carrying. And sometimes the stress really comes from doing too much. Things that for one, things that you're not supposed to be doing, and two, things that God did not give you, permission to do, right? He didn't say go ahead and do that, but we thought it was a good idea, right? Just because you're doing something in ministry doesn't mean that that's your assignment for God to be doing for you. Sometimes we miss what God wants to do in us and through us simply because we're so busy doing all the other things. But we're going to talk about rest today. We're going to talk about rest today because I think it's important for us to be able to remember that rest is necessary, right, for the journey. And it's got to be an intentional commitment on our part to rest, right? And Stephanie says, honey, I need this day, really. She said, glad I'm watching you live. She says, I need rest. Thank you for day 24. I did not get a chance to read today. That's okay. You can read later. Those of you who don't have the book, is here, right? 30 Days of Thanks, 30 Daily Devotions for Cultivating an Attitude of Gratitude. And so really, really, really grateful for this day. And so, like I said, I'm going to try not to hold you all long today because today's day is rest. But then also I know that you all are still preparing for tomorrow. Some of you, yes, some of you, no. I know some people like, child, listen, I'm not going nowhere. I'm not doing nothing. This day Thanksgiving is literally going to be a day of rest for me. Right. So with that being said, let's go on and start this conversation. And so it says, if you have no time for rest, it's exactly the right time. That's by Mark Twain. If you have no time for rest, it's exactly the right time. What does that mean? That means that, child, if you don't have no time to rest, then you need to rest. Rest should be a part of your lifestyle. It should be a part of your schedule. Like, you should be able to schedule in rest in certain aspects of your life, right? If you're continuously busy, then that means that you are not taking time to plan in between projects, right? Your time of rest. And so what ends up happening is your exhaustion really comes from going from one project to the next, one thing to the other, as opposed to resting, right? As opposed to taking time. Like, I understand that when 30 days of thanks is up, that I literally have about a week to rest and prepare for my event, which comes up about 10 days later, so that I can allow myself to be poured into, so that I can pour back out to you all, right? I plan that. My cousin, she asked me, and she was like, listen, I know you got a lot coming up. I know you're going to be teaching. I know you're, going to be doing a whole bunch. She was like, how are you going to be feeling, right? And I said, you know what? This time I'm going to be feeling well because I planned rest into what I'm doing. I'm already teaching, right? And so how many of you have planned rest on your schedule? You plan rest in your life. You plan rest like in the things that you have to do, or is it from one thing to the next thing? Okay, so when I get done with this, and I'm jumping to this, and then when I get done with this, then I'm going to do this. Honey, that's why you're tired. Right? Stephanie said, that's my next t-shirt. Rest is my lifestyle. It is. Rest is a lifestyle, right? I say it all the time. Rest is not just some, whatever. Rest is a lifestyle, right? Rest is holy, right? And yes, I'm so excited that you are registered. So excited that you're going to be there. So let's read, right? So if you have no time to rest, it's exactly the right time. Today, let's take some time to give thanks for rest. Although you may not rest like you should, me included, and this was almost 10 years ago when I wrote this book, but I have since, most of you who follow me, and know that rest really is a part of what I do. I don't have no problem taking a nap. I don't have no problem shutting it down. But at that time, the Lord was really teaching me and rewiring me to be able to value rest, right? And so today we will spend time giving thanks for rest. Being rested, refreshed, and rejuvenated is important to the work you do and the people who depend on you. Let me say that again. Being rested, refreshed, and rejuvenated is important to the work you do and the people who depend on you. It's important to the work you do, and it's important to the people who depend on you. But the one thing that I would add to this, aside from that, because I think sometimes I don't want us to think that we're just resting to continue to do. Resting is also important to just who you are as a person. It's important. Being rested, being refreshed, being rejuvenated is important to who you are, right? Yes, Inspired Fully says rest is an act of faith. Yes. It's not just about what you do, right? It's about who you be. And so you have to make sure that you're not just resting so that you can go out and be busy all over again, but that you understand that rest is a part of it's like, this is for me. It's not just for you. It helps me do what I need to do for you, but this is for me. Sometimes, most times, you have to say this rest is a selfish rest. This rest is a me rest. This is not for you rest. Okay. Resting is a part of living life in and on purpose and doing life well. You must intentionally make time to rest so that you can operate fully in purpose. You see, even God rested on the seventh day. He worked 6 days, then rested from his work on the seventh day. If our Creator knew well enough to take time to rest, then we should follow suit, right? But many of us don't. Why is that? There are many reasons that I won't get into, but imagine what life would be like if you could not rest. What would life be like for you if you ran yourself to the point of exhaustion? Have you ever done this? Maybe you're at that point now. Would you be able to operate at full capacity? Would you be able to give your all when working if you worked all the time? No, but you still do it. Most of you work to full capacity. You work until literally you're on E, right? I remember, and I really try to do better now. I try not to let my car get below either a half tank or a quarter tank of gas. But there are many days where I remember I would drive my car, and I know like when it hits, I have like the last 30 miles. I would drive it on E, and then once the number disappeared, I knew I had 30 miles to go before I could get gas. And I never ran out of gas. But it's a point of just like, why would you push the limit like that? And we do that with our lives. We push the limit till we're literally on almost like on that at that point of exhaustion. And here's the thing, it costs more to fill it up when you get to E than if you filled it up at halfway. I'm talking to somebody, right? We're like, oh, the gas is just, oh, I had to put this. But if you had filled it up at a half tank, you wouldn't have spent that $60. You might have only had spent $30. And so the time that it takes you, the energy that it takes you, are y'all catching this already? We ain't even like off the first page yet. The energy that it takes for you to fill up on empty is so much more than if you had taken the time sporadically to fill up, because it's not as much energy. You're not filling up on exhaustion. You're filling up after you've poured out a little bit, and then you pull back to fill up, and then you pour. And technically, we should be pouring out of our overflow. We shouldn't be pouring out of what is ours. What's in the cup is yours. I heard this by somebody. It says what's in the cup is yours, but the overflow is what you give to other people. And too many times we're giving what's ours to other people, which is why a lot of times you continue to operate and you're still tired. You don't have rest because you haven't filled yourself up to the full. Right? Faye said, catching it. So it says many times we think investing in everyone and everything else is most important. As a coach and a consultant, I've had to remind my clients that you can't continue to give what you don't have. You cannot continue to give what you don't have. If you don't have it, honey, you can't give it. And too many times you're trying to give something that you don't have. Or what you're giving, thank you, Father, you're giving what's not yours, what's not theirs to give. You're giving away your own stuff. You're giving away what's supposed to replenish you, but you're giving it to them, and then you can't figure out why you can't get your energy back, why you still don't feel as refreshed as you should, because you didn't take the time to replenish. You didn't take the time to refresh yourself. You didn't take time to sit still enough to literally, it's kind of like you ever flush the toilet and try to flush it before the water fills up and it ain't really working the way it's supposed to. Some of y'all are like that toilet. You got to let yourself fill up before you can flush again. Right? God gave me that revelation like a couple weeks ago. And I was like, where do you want me to share that? I guess I need to share that with y'all. Right? I thought maybe I might still share it, at I Speak Life Live. But the reality is sometimes you still trying to flush and empty out, and it ain't nothing in there, as opposed to letting it fill. Right? And inspirefully says, so dangerous to give me what's ours. Right? It can lead to resentment. It does lead to resentment. Stephanie says, yes, we need to rest so that we don't become evil. Right? Yes. Because now you're mad because you're given, but you're still tired. You're still frustrated. You're still not rested. And you feel like, man, like, when am I? Because you're giving what's yours. You're not giving what's theirs. Be careful that you're giving out of your overflow. All right. So ponder this. When resting, do you actually rest when you're supposed to be resting? Do you find yourself feeling awkward doing nothing? Do you find yourself still focused on things you should be doing? Do you feel guilty about what you aren't doing? I will say that a lot of the clients that I work with deal with this kind of stuff. Like, I have people ask me all the time, like, what is that like? Like, how do you just do nothing? We don't know how to just do nothing. Child, listen, it has taken me a time, but I can show you how to do nothing. I think I passed that on to my son, and he don't have no problem doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? To the point where he understands what rest is. If I say we taking a nap, we taking a nap, right? If I say, you know what I mean? Like, what does it look like? We have been so conditioned to do that we don't know how to just be. You welcome, Simone. How are you, love? We don't know how to just be. We don't know how to, and I get asked that question all the time. Like, how do you I don't know how to do nothing. And it comes with practice. It comes with reconditioning, right? And so with my clients, we work on what that looks like on a weekly basis, right? We work through it, and you have accountability, and you have somebody who can talk you through the process, right? Because doing it by yourself, and you're like, this is dumb. Like, I feel like I should be doing something. And it's like, no, the purpose of doing nothing is so that you do nothing, right? You're literally giving yourself time and space to refill, right? It's like the toilet. You're giving the toilet an opportunity to refill. So when it's time to flush again, it's full, right? So today, spend some time appreciating and being grateful for rest. Resting means you take time off and cease from any activity. You rest your mind, your body, your soul. Be thankful that God set the precedent to rest once the work was done. Now you may say, work for me is never done. My response to that is pencil rest in when you complete a project. When you finish a project, take some time, schedule it in before jumping right into another. This will allow you to be productive on your next project, right? Stephanie says, my boyfriend says, I don't know how to rest. I feel guilty about going to sleep. Child, you better close your eyes and go to sleep. Right? You feel guilty about going to sleep, but then you be agitated when you're tired. You're like, dang, I knew I should have took that nap because I'm sleeping now. Right? And Spirefully says, it's 1,000 things calling for my attention now, but sit here and get filled from your life-giving words. Listen, love that giving from the overflow. Yes. Yes. Pencil in rest. So when you're looking at your schedule, like for example, I know that after my event, I'm shutting down for a couple days. I'm not committing to anything. I do have a commitment that following weekend, but literally I don't plan on really doing a whole lot after my event because I already know I'm going to need like a week to be able to just sit myself down. I understand that. I understand that after pouring out every night at 10 o'clock at night for 30 days of thanks, I'm going to need a couple days of, I'm not Zooming nobody. I don't want to be on camera. I don't want to talk to nobody. Don't text me. I don't want to communicate. Are y'all hearing me? I am literally like, I don't want it. I'm penciling in rest. I am conscious of rest. I'm conscious of in between, right? So I understand that I have projects to do. I understand that I have work to do, but I also understand that I can't jump from one project to the next, not having refills and not having, even to some extent, you don't even give yourself time to prepare for the next event. So then you get into the next event and you're rushed because you didn't not only give yourself time to replenish, you're like, dang, like, okay, dang, I didn't really give, like, I'm coming, like, I have this today and then tomorrow I jump right into it. No, like, what's the prep time? What's the thinking time? What's the processing time? What's the execution time? I'm teaching something totally different, but you all have to understand that in that space of rest, it gives you time to think. It gives you time to process. It gives you time to refill. It gives you time to reconnect, right? Stephanie says, Faye says pencil rest in, and Stephanie says pencil no, permanent marker rest in. I love it. But yes, we have to be, and listen, it's baby steps. We have to be intentional. So that's why, you all know that I teach, doing your weekly plan, right? Making sure that you're looking at what you have to do like a week ahead of time. Some of y'all just wake up on Monday and you don't know what's going on. You wake up on Tuesday, you don't know what's going on. You're like, oh, shoot, I forgot I had this going on today. As opposed to looking at your week and saying, okay, I know I have this, and this to do. Like today is Wednesday, right? You should already know what you have going on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. You should already be looking into next week to see what you have going on. Because on days for me that are busy days, I have to plan ahead. I have to figure out, okay, so on this day, I need to make sure that I'm not overburdening myself. So I'm planning my meals so that I'm not like all of that helps you rest because you're preparing and creating space and time. Shh. I'm about to whoop some kids over here, y'all. Those of you who are just joining, my little person has company. But paying attention, that rest gives you a chance to just sit and process, but it also helps you to be aware of what's coming. And some of you are not aware of what's coming because you're just jumping in from one thing to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing, and you're tired and you're frustrated and you're angry, right? And then guess what? With all of the things that you have to do, taking a moment just to, you can go into the next thing like, okay, I understand that this is a lot, but I prepared myself for it, right? I'm ready for it. I'm rested for it. And so be thankful that God has said, I said this already. So I said, when you finish a project, take some time, schedule it in before jumping right into another. This will allow you to be productive on your next project, right? As a work in progress, I too am learning to really rest when I'm supposed to be resting. Sometimes it's a little difficult with the little one taking over the house. Child, he's 10 now, so I send him somewhere, right? But in the middle of that, I still try to rest. At that point, when I was writing this book, he might have been just turning 1 or 2. And so today's message is interesting because while at my parents' house for a post-Thanksgiving dinner in 2011, and I think this really was 2012, I was still working in my head on the initial topic for today. It just wasn't sitting well with me. I kept saying, I think I have addressed this at some point throughout our journey. And instead of trying to write something that didn't feel right, I waited and I asked God what he wanted me to write today about today. He said, I said, Lord, show me what you want me to say tomorrow. I can't really remember when it came, but out of the blue, while I was thinking about work, I heard him say, rest. This came while my mind was racing, thinking about things I needed to do in addition to thinking about today's day of thanks. The Lord began to show me that there are many of us who do not know how to rest, including me. We say we do, but then we find something to put into that time to make us feel like we're being productive. I was guilty. I'm still guilty. I was supposed to be at my parents' house enjoying time with relatives I had not seen in years, and I was thinking about work. Who does that? Me, I guess. I was thinking about writing today's message, papers I had yet to correct for the class I was teaching at the time, and laundry I had yet to start. My body was there, but my mind wasn't. Can you relate? Well, at that very moment, God said rest. He said, I created rest for a reason. You need to operate fully in your purpose, and you can't be productive if you never give yourself time to rest, refresh, and re-energize. Many times we rest our bodies, but our minds are racing from here to 5 years from now. That's not really resting. Just so you know, God gave me permission to go to bed early and sleep in that day. I was instructed to rest and sleep in, then complete this day of thanks. His message was, thank me for rest by resting. Y'all type that into the comments. Thank God for rest by resting. Some of y'all will catch that tomorrow when you wake up. Thank God for rest by resting. The best way you can thank God for rest and be thankful is by resting. Type that into the comments, you all. I was blown away, so I did what I was instructed to do, and I pray you do the same today. That is, in the middle of everything you have going on today, take some time to rest your mind, your body, and your spirit. Despite how much we may or may not rest today, take time not only to give thanks for rest, but also make time for rest, to rest. So I'll read the journal assignment in a moment, and I really think the journal assignment really has to do with rest as well. But I think it's so important. And, I've come, like when I read this book, I've come such a long way because I remember being in that space. And I'm in so much of a more peaceful space because I really decided to live what I was teaching before I was teaching it. But it became so powerful to me as a busy woman doing a lot of different things that at some stuff was not as productive as it could have been because I was doing too much. And a lot of us are conditioned to do that. For me, I was conditioned to be busy. I was like programmed to be busy. It was kind of like, it's even like, growing up, if you all remember what they say, like the idle mind is the devil's playground. And so sometimes, then we feel like we got to be thinking about something because if we're idle, he going to come in. And sometimes, child, you really don't need to be thinking about anything because you're thinking about everything. Hey, Adri. Hey, girl. Hey, how are you, love? You're thinking about everything. And so your mind is not resting. Right. And so many of you have heard me talk about the brain dump, which was now like I very rarely have to do a brain dump unless I just have a lot going on and it really is just a process. But years ago, because I was so overwhelmed with all of the things that I was doing, and I think I was doing too much, child. I would do a brain dump, and a brain dump was literally like taking a journal. I would have a journal on the side of my bed that when I had so much going on in my mind, and I didn't really have anybody to call at 1 o'clock in the morning when my brain was, moving so much, I would write my thoughts down. And here, for some of you, this is going to help you. And many of you, you've heard me share this multiple times, and I share it as many times as needed, because it's important that, sometimes when it's in the middle of the night, you don't have anybody to call, and just your mind is racing with so many different things. Sometimes it's just easy to get it all out. And it's not to get it all out to process, it's to get it all out so you can rest. And so this is what brain dumping would look like for me. I would be like, man, I'm up, oh, I'm hungry. I think I got a Snickers in the refrigerator. Did I pay that bill? I don't know. I'm gonna be so tired in the morning. I don't even want to go to work. I should have took off tomorrow. I need me a mental, like literally, as the way that your mind thinks and works is the way that a brain dump is. You're not journaling like, oh, today was a good day, Lord, I thank you. No, it's literally what your brain is thinking at the moment. You're literally like regurgitating on paper what your mind is saying. And what you're doing is you're releasing. It's literally like diarrhea of the brain. You're getting it out. And so what I would do, I literally would write until everything was out, and until I could feel a heaviness of where I could feel myself relaxed enough to go to sleep. And then I would sleep. And so when I tell you I haven't had to do a brain dump, I used to do them daily, but I haven't had to do a brain dump like that probably in about 3-4 years. Because I got, and then I also just released a lot of stuff. I just started saying no to everything. If it wasn't something that I really wanted to do, and even if I really wanted to do it, sometimes I was like, you don't have capacity for it, say no. Because it's something that sometimes we feel like, well, if it's something I really want to do, and then I should do it. No, like you might need to go sit yourself down. You may need to tell the people, my plate is full right now. I really can't commit to that. I can't commit to anything else. And for a while I would tell people that, just to be in a set seat. Like you need to decide like how you don't have to explain what you do with your time to anybody. Like if you say I'm committed today, committed could be sitting at home on a couch, scratching your butt, watching Netflix for a day because you just need to rest. You don't have to explain that to anybody. You don't have to explain what you do with your time to anybody, even the people who live in your house. Right? Well, what are you doing? That's all you're going to do? I sure am. Because this helps me be better in the house for y'all. You like me to be nice, right? Then you're going to leave me alone and let me, well, what we going to eat, child? I don't know. What are you going to eat? What we going to eat? You tell me what we going to eat. Oh, you're not cooking? I don't know. Did you cook? People don't like that, but sometimes that's how you need, because the reality is sometimes people, you create the monsters that you live with. I'm stepping on some toes. I felt that. You create the monsters that you live with because they don't, their expectation is that they know that you're going to do the thing, that you're going to cook the meal, that you're going to clean the house, that you're going to pick up the groceries, that you're going to, whatever, you're going to wash the dishes. And then when the dishes be in there for about 2-3 days and they're like, you're not going to wash the dishes. Well, you might say, well, you're not going to wash the dishes. It's more than one of us in this house. Am I helping somebody today? And if it's just you in the house, you and the dishes can look at each other and say, I'll get around to it when I'm ready. And the dishes can, listen, you and the dishes can look at each other, and the dishes like, so you just gonna leave me here? Yeah, today I am, because I'm tired. And so some of y'all, the kitchen has to be spick and span, but you go to bed anxious. You go to bed restless. You go to bed, you stay up all night. And I shared this with somebody. I said, it's interesting how we'll stay up all night cleaning the house, but we won't give God that time. Oh, God, I got to clean my house and make sure my house is spick and span. But you don't leave time for the Father to come and dwell. So you've cleaned this space for him, but now you're too tired to be in his space. Whatever. I just, sometimes you just need to sit your tail down. That kitchen going to be all right. Them dishes going to be all right. Child, if they eat peanut butter and jelly, they going to be all right. Whatever they going to eat, child, they going to be all right. But the question is, are you going to be okay? And that's my concern. Are you going to be okay? And some of you are not okay. And so I really want us to really make rest has to be a lifestyle. It's got to be a consistent part of what you do, not just when you do what you do when you're exhausted. Oh, I'm exhausted, I need a vacation. No, a vacation should be something that you take when you feel like it, not when you're exhausted. You should be able to get up and go just cause, not because, oh, I just need to get away, girl. And I get it. Like sometimes you do just need to get away, but sometimes it, that shouldn't be the only time you need to get away. We really have to rewrite. And I did over the summer, my life scopes, I did them around creating a new narrative and creating, like, what does creating a new narrative look like for you? What does recreating, right? Changing, your environment and changing your mindset, all of those things. Like some things really do, you need to change and decide that first of all, you have to decide that what you're doing is not working. Some of y'all think that that's how you're supposed to live, and it's not. And that's okay that was how you were raised, but just because that was how you were raised, don't make it good for you now. It might have been good then. It might not even been good then, but it's not good now. It's not healthy now. And the great part is you get to choose what works for you today, right? So let me read the journal assignment and I'll do the prayer, and then I want to let you guys go before 11. Take some time today to think about how much rest you actually get. Do you make rest a priority, or do you just fit it in when you can? Whatever your answer may be, today, instead of writing because that's work, I want you to rest. Then write tomorrow and reflect on your day of rest. And here's the prayer. Heavenly Father, first we want to say thank you for setting the example of how to do life well and live a fulfilled life of purpose. Work, then rest. We're thankful that you set a pattern for us to follow. Nowadays, when there is so much going on and there are so many things to do, we forget to take time to refresh, to rejuvenate, and to relax. Some of us don't know how to relax, even when we say we are relaxing. Today, we give thanks for the gift of rest. We're also thankful that even though we haven't mastered the skill of resting, we can still rest in you and trust that if we keep our ear to your mouth and our heart to your heart, we can and will begin to embrace the real meaning of rest. In Jesus' name, amen. So I told y'all today was good, right? And so I really want y'all to think about, if you have the book on page 98 where it says, when resting, do you actually rest when you're supposed to be resting? Do you find yourself feeling awkward doing nothing? Do you find yourself still focused on things you should be doing? Do you feel guilty about what you aren't doing? And so those things, more than likely, the answer is yes. And so it will take time for you to reprogram and recondition yourself to not feel guilty about doing nothing, right? Because we've been conditioned to, like, if you're not doing anything, you're lazy. And that's not the case, right? And so in that space, be okay with doing nothing, right? Be okay with doing nothing. Be okay with, and not explaining doing nothing, right? We still feel like we got to give an excuse, like, oh, well, I'm just so tired. And I just, because rest is my portion. I can rest because rest is my portion. Rest is godly. Rest is holy. Rest is biblical. And so I don't have to give a reason why I'm resting. Yes, I might have been tired yesterday, but I'm resting today because it's necessary for where I'm going. I'm not resting because of what I did. I'm resting because I want to rest, and because it's a part of what I do in order to be who I need to be for me, but then also for you. That's it. Stop feeling like you got to give an example or you got to give an explanation. No, I don't have to explain to you why I'm resting. I don't have to give an explanation to you while I'm resting. I don't have to tell you why I do what I do with my time. Mind your business. People don't like that kind of talk, but mind your business. Tend to your, as a little girl said, y'all remember that video, but when it went live, it went viral, and she's like, worry about yourself. Worry about yourself. Don't worry about me. Dad was asking if she needed help with her seatbelt. She's like, no, worry about yourself. Worry about yourself. Right? We wouldn't have too many issues if you wasn't over here looking at what I'm doing, and you would, instead of you focused on, if you was resting, you wouldn't have no time worrying about why I'm not resting. Right? But because you don't know how to rest, you want to be over here in my yard wondering how I'm able to do what I'm doing so comfortably, because you still trying to figure it out. Well, honey, if you got questions, ask that, but don't ask me why I'm doing it. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you find yourself, in that space of where you're feeling awkward and guilty, I would just say keep doing it. Keep doing it until it doesn't feel awkward. Keep doing it until you no longer feel guilty. Keep doing it until it feels a part of until the point of where you feel weird not resting, right? Like, oh no, I feel like I done missed a nap this week. It's time for me to rest. Like I'm off because I haven't rested. Right? Not that I feel guilty because I'm resting. I'm feeling guilty because I haven't. We haven't spent no time together. And then the other around, focusing on all the things that you should be doing. Child, it's always going to be a should be. There's always going to be something you should be doing. There's always going to be something you got to do. That's just life, right? There's always something. Just like you should be doing the dishes, but you're not, child. You're going to go sit down and just sit. You should be doing laundry, but you're not. You're going to go sit down and you're going to sit. Period. And what you're going to stop doing is putting all of this stuff on your plate to the point of where you don't have any room for anything else, including you. That's what you also going to stop doing. I'm giving a lot of commands today because I'm feeling this in my spirit. Some of y'all need this. I'm not asking questions right now. I'm really telling you because you need to know that it's your prerogative and you have permission to take care of you. Period. So, my challenge to you is decide over these next maybe 7 to 14 days when you're going to fit rest in and how you're going to make it a consistent part of your life, right? And those of you who are, again, coming to I Speak Life Live, I would encourage you to come because we're going to talk a lot about this. We're going to talk a lot about self-care, what it looks like, what it doesn't, what it could look like for you, because this has to be something that is a part of, we can't just be creating goals for what you want to aspire to do when we're not really tapping into who you be and what's holding you back from all of those other things. And so we're really going to talk about that. We're going to talk about igniting the fire because some of you are walking around here, your fire done went out. I'm gonna leave y'all alone. I promise. I really don't promise because we got 6 more days, y'all. So yeah. So was this good for y'all today? Maybe. Was this good for y'all? Was this helpful? You gotta get your merchant orders, right? And so, for some of you, you are hosting dinner tomorrow. You're doing all the things tomorrow, and I promise you haven't created space on Friday nor Saturday to sit yourself down and recuperate from what you did or what you're gonna do tomorrow. I promise none of y'all have done that. And if you have, good for you. Kudos that you've done that. But that's the first assignment, right? When you have big things, like if you're always the one hosting, then there should be a day where can't nobody come over. Can't nobody know. If you want leftovers, you better take them now. Don't come back tomorrow because tomorrow the door is locked. Listen, I'm walking around in my pajamas, my robe, and I am, right? Now it says guilty, right? And we pick right back up. And so my challenge to you is even like for tomorrow, you're hosting, you're doing all of these things between Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There needs to be a day that is specifically created for you to recoup and rest from all the things and all the people and all the food from tomorrow. This is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about when we're talking about lifestyle of rest. And we're talking about, making sure that you're filling your cup. Because even in that space, you might not be working, but you're working. Right? So, this is, for me, it's important for me to teach this. And this is, these are the things that I teach to help you to get out of your own way, because a lot of times you don't even know you're in your own way because we've been conditioned to do that. And I think that's why for me, I don't really like doing all them big things because I grew up that way. Our house was a house that hosted and we had to do a whole bunch of stuff. And then, I was tired. Like sometimes I was tired before the people came. I didn't want to look at the people. From helping my mom cook and helping to clean and wiping down the baseboards and the walls, and we had mirrors on the walls and we had to wipe the mirrors like we do, child. We go all extra for the people. And so by the time we got done with that, or the people, I was exhausted. I don't want to look at y'all. I'm tired. I'm thankful for rest. And this was growing up. And so now, child, listen, I'm good. I'm good. I do a lot of things now because I'm creating, memories for my family, for my son and stuff like that. But child, listen, put me on a beach somewhere, sand in my toes, and I'm good to go. Child, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all the things. Child, I can get turkey and all of that stuff on another day. We can cook that on it. It don't have to be this day. I'm grateful in general. Right? So I just want you to decide what rest looks like for you. Faye says, I have a play date scheduled for Friday. Tomorrow I'm hosting a party for me. I love it. I decline all invites so I can just be in rest. I cancel going out of town for the first time in years. So thankful. I love you for doing that, Faye. I love that. I'm so proud of you because, I know you. You and I have had conversation. I'm not going to tell you business, but that right there is huge for you. I'll say that. That's huge for you. And so, some of you have permission to say, no, thank you. I'm going to stay home today. Is everything all right? Everything actually is perfect. I just have decided that, today is a day that, I just need some time for me, So I see you, AZ. She like, child, listen. Really? I see you, Adri. You said, hello. Hi, Summer. How are you? She's like 100%. Yeah. So again, those of you, if you're on my email list, be on the lookout. I have a Black Friday special coming out for I Speak Life Live. We're at about 22 women now. And I love for those of you who are not registered to register and join me. It's December 10th, 11th, and 12th. And so I'm going to put this banner up, but it won't be applicable this weekend because if you go to that, you're end up going to be paying the early bird price of $197. But I'm not going to tell you how much the Black Friday specials are going to be, but I'll just tell you it won't be $197. And so if you have yet to get your ticket, what I will say is you might, depending upon the day, and if you see the link, be able to register as low one of the days as $97. Yes. So like I said, if you have not yet gotten your ticket, and I would just say that that's a special price that I'm only giving to certain people. And so y'all better get in where you fit in. Yes, Cassandra says, okay, I'm gonna give you better give don't say it at like, okay, child, listen, that's a mandate. You hear me? We got mandates going on out here. Rest is a mandate. That's a command, rest, right? Thou shalt rest. Now that I think I might make a mug because y'all know I love either a mug or a shirt. Thou shalt rest. Don't y'all take my shirt. You hear me? I always say I'm gonna make something, child, and then I have them all on the list. AZ says, I stayed in bed all day today because I wanted to. Cooking can wait until tomorrow. That's right. Because, and like, what is Tabitha says, because that's my business, because that's your business, because you can. What she said, like that, child, listen, because you can. So, so I love y'all. I'm sending y'all big hugs tonight. I am so thankful that you all join me live and on the replay. I'm so thankful that you all are part of my community. I'm so thankful that you all have been with me on this journey. Some of you since the very beginning, that we are literally almost at 10 years for 30 Days of Thanks. Next year will be 10 years that 30 Days of Thanks has been around. I think this is the 5th year that I've done live. And so I appreciate you all. Like in this season of Adri says, yes, still waiting on that sis come forth mug. I'm working on that. I shouldn't say I'm working on it. It's the list. And so I promise I am working on it because I'm bringing all of my gear and stuff back. So y'all be on the lookout for I Speak Life Live, sis come forth, thou shalt rest, right? It's a couple other ones. But yeah, so just, I'm grateful for you all. I'm grateful that you all join me every single year, that y'all have been rolling with me, that some of you have coached with me. You have taken my programs. You're in my inner circle. Like, I love when I say I could get emotional just thinking about it. Can I tell y'all I'm trying not to because I feel it welling up that I really am grateful for you all. I'm grateful that y'all have been with me, some since the very beginning, some since I kicked off in 2016 with my life scopes. A lot of you all I met started going live, and I love y'all. And I'm working on a couple of things, a live event for next year. I'm also working on a retreat. And so I cannot wait to see y'all. And so y'all just pray that COVID does not take over because I really want to see y'all. I want to hug you. And I want us to be in space and really be able to just, like virtual is amazing. Like, y'all know virtual is going to be the bomb. But like when we listen, child, them people better be ready when we come together. We going to set that place on fire. You know what I'm saying? I love y'all too. I'm planning a lot. I Speak Life live, right? And then I'm also planning a retreat. And it's going to be really nice. And that really is it's really going to be around rest. Thank you so much, AZ, for the prayers. I love you too, Cassandra. Grateful for you, Tamala. Yes, Faye. Yes, hugs. Yes, Nadia. 10 years, right? 5 years live and 10 years next year. So you all go get your rest. It's 10:55. I want us to be done by 11. Take some time over these next few days if you can after you rest, right? Don't do it now, but these last few days. Yesterday we talked about forgiveness. It was fire. Yesterday, the day before that, when we talked about endings and closed doors. Prior to that, we talked about beginnings and openings, and then we opened up with freedom. Child, that, let me just tell y'all, that day of things, I think it's 2019 or 20, when we talked about freedom, child, I'm telling you, it'll free your whole life. Shakisha says my first year, but definitely not the last. I know that's right. I'm grateful for you first timers too being here. I am. And so hopefully you all feel the love and the connection and all of the things. So so y'all have a good night's rest. And however you decide to spend tomorrow, I pray that it does you good. Just to be with loved ones or to be by yourself, right? Because y'all know I don't have no problem being by myself, right? Outside of my little person, but y'all, we hang tight, okay? We are one and the same. But just, however you want to spend it. But if you spend tomorrow, like I know Nadia and a couple other people who are cooking, AZ, you're cooking, make sure you take Friday, Saturday, or Sunday and just decide that is your do nothing day to replenish, to get you ready for Monday. Okay? Dallas, come here. We got a special guest.
Hey.
Here, go over here.
How y'all doing?
All right, go ahead. Tell them your mom is here.
Okay.
He wanted to say hi to y'all. So, yes, Stephanie, go back and listen to Freedom, child. Literally from Freedom on, they've been fire. God showing up, just sharing. So if you get a chance, go on ahead and listen to them. So good night. I love you. Be on the lookout via my email tomorrow, and then it'll be live on Friday for the Black Friday special. Register and get your ticket December 10th, 11th, and 12th. You still have time. I think officially tomorrow, Friday is the 2-week point for the event. So you can still take off Friday if you need to, do a PTO day so that you can get all right. See, Faye said it. Freedom was fire. You can get all of what I'm sharing on that first day. But other than that, I love you. I'm wishing you a happy Thanksgiving. I'm wishing you all that there is to be received on this day. If nobody says that they are thankful for you, I am thankful for you. I'm grateful for you. I appreciate you. I love you. I honor you. I honor who you are to God. I honor who you are to this community. And I really honor just who you are to who you are called to be. And my mandate really is just to help you to get out of your own way, to stop settling and show up fully for yourself in the same way that you show up for others. I know you're going to bring the fire for them, but I want you to bring the fire for you, right? And that's why we're going to be igniting the fire December 10th and 11th and 12th. So good night. I love y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow, same time, same place. And tomorrow, let me just check what tomorrow is. Day 25. Ooh, is wisdom. It's going to be good. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. Good night. I love you. Yes, get that hotel, Adri. Yeah, some of the ladies have gotten hotels because they want to take it all in. They're doing a whole experience, y'all. So I'm telling you, it's the real deal. Be on the lookout, get your ticket, and register. I love y'all. Good night.